In this lesson, we're going to overload the input and output operators, the get from and the put to operators. These are the first two we want to do so that we can make it easy to get data into and out of our date class, as we're using the date class for most of our examples. So let's begin. To overload the get from operator, we begin by moving outside of the class definition. The I/O operators have to be defined outside of the class definition. So the first thing we do is write the keyword iStream. The get from operator is a iStream or input stream object. Then we type the address of operator followed by the word operator followed by the get from operator itself. Then an open parenthesis followed by the keyword iStream again, the address of operator, and our iStream object name, which will be input, followed by date ampersand D will work for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get data from the input stream, the console, and then we're going to store it in D and return that as the value of the function. So we need 3 variables for the month, day, and the year of the date. We also need variables for the 2 slashes because we're going to have the user enter the date in month slash day slash YYYY format. So we need 2 slashes. Now we're ready to actually get the input from the user. So we type the name of our iStream object input, the get from operator, the month to get the first number out of the input stream, followed by /1 to get the first slash, followed by the day, then we'll drop down to the next line, followed by the second /2, followed by the year. We need to make a date object and store it in D, so we call the date constructor with month, day, and year, which we've gotten from the input stream. Then we return the input, and that will return the data from CN into our date object. And we'll show you how that actually works in detail in just a moment. Now, before we test it, let's go ahead and write the put to operator so that we'll have both. We need a set to be able to do any real work. So we start off in the same area with the keyword OStream, ampersand operator, and this time the put to operator, open parenthesis. This is an OStream object, so we write OStream, the name of our OStream object, which we'll call output, and we use the address of operator because we want to pass a reference. Because we're not modifying the date here but just displaying it, we're going to have the second parameter be a constant, and then we have a reference to a date object, so date ampersand D. Open the function body, and we're going to have it return in one statement because we're not having to make any modifications like we did in the input operator. So we're going to return output, and then what we're doing here is we're streaming. That's what the put to operator is supposed to symbolize. We're streaming the data from the object by calling the proper accessor or get function, streaming it to the output object, and then returning that once we've completed the stream. So the first part of the stream gets the month, then we want to display the date with the slash, so we get that part. Come down to the next line, get the day, followed by a slash, followed by the year. So get year, semicolon, close the function body, like so. Now we're ready to test, so let's give it a shot. So let's create a date object, date today. Then let's write a little prompt. Enter a date, and let's give them the format so they'll know how we want the date to come in. And then CN today. And then let's put another little prompt. Today is, and then cout today, indel. That looks like everything we need, so let's build and run the program. Let's enter a date, 3/21/2011, and today is 3/21/2011. So to summarize, We can overload the input and output operators, but we have to do it from outside the class body. These are called non-member functions. In fact, let me add a little comment there so you can see that. Non-member functions. Also, you could call it a non-class function. The getFrom operator is overloaded by having an iStream object and a date object, along with variables for the different pieces of the date we want to get. We grab those from the input in this line right here. Then we instantiate our date object right there in that line. And then we return it as the very last line of the function. Output's a little bit easier. All we have to do is return a stream, an output stream, where the passed in date object we call the getMonth, getDay, and getYear functions along with slashes so that the output is in the right format. And let's run it one more time. We'll do a different date. We'll do 12/31/2010, and it returns it in just the right format. So that's how we overload the input and output operators. In the next lesson, we'll continue on with the relational operators that we started a lesson ago with the equality operator.